lack of public housing as a big part of the problem. But there are critics who say Australia's poor are actually better off than ever. Social Affairs correspondent Norman Hermont reports.
Off to see Peter and the kids.
For the thousands of volunteers who help Australia's poorest households, the poverty rate is no surprise.
Their need is just so great. That gap is just huge out there.
Go Peter, Vinnie's.
St Vincent de Paul Society volunteers have been visiting this home for 13 years.
How you going, Peter? How are things going? You keeping well?
Peter Ryan and his family rely on these visits. Most of his pension goes to pay the rent and utilities. There's about $260 a week left for everything else.
We thought we'd bring you a hamper. Here's a pasta. You like making pasta, you told me that before, haven't you?
It doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of people, but when you're on pension, it actually all adds up. So you find that in the next week, you haven't got money for food.
Demand is as high as it's ever been to visit homes living in poverty.
It's everywhere really, and it's getting worse with the demand.
The latest statistics suggest it's certainly not getting better. In 2004, 11.8% of Australians were living in poverty. By 2014, in the midst of a 25-year run of economic growth, the poverty rate actually crept up to 12.6%. Zoe McTavish and her daughter rely on social welfare payments that have been reduced, like Newstart. Subsidized rent is also a lifeline.
Do you think by being in public housing here, this is helping you stay out of poverty?
Yes, definitely. If we hadn't have been offered this property, we were about to be out on the street.
Officially, this family is living just below the poverty line, and critics say that illustrates a key problem with the most recent statistics. Poverty today is not what it was decades ago.
Things like fridges, microwaves, cars, televisions, Xboxes, all of these things are available to people who are on even the lowest incomes in our community. That's a terrific thing.
Vanessa Kapani and her children also live beneath the poverty line, but it could be worse.
You know, there are less fortunate people out there that are living on the street still.
Above all, they are thankful for what they do have. Norman Hermont, ABC News.